Why Anansi has 8 thin legs. Once upon a time, there lived a spider named Anansi. He was lazy. He never cooked his own food. One day he was walking along.
I'm sure a friend will give me some food,
He thought. Ruby, the rabbit, was his good friend.
There are greens in your pot.
Cried Anansi excitedly. Anansi loved greens.
They are not quite done, but they will be ready soon. Stay and eat with me,
Said Ruby. Anansi thought, if he waited at Ruby's house, Ruby would certainly give him some work to do.
No,
Said Anansi.
I have to spin a web. I will tie one end around my leg and one end to your pot. When the greens are done, tug on the web and I will come running.
Ruby thought that it was a great idea. Anansi now passed by the house of the monkeys.
I smell beans.
Anansi said to the monkey.
Delicious beans cooking in a pot. Anansi, come and eat my beans.
Invited Chanku the monkey.
They're almost done. I would really love to eat,
Said Anansi.
I have to spin a web. I will tie one end around my leg and one end to your pot. When the beans are done, tug on the web and I will come running. I smell potatoes.
Anansi sniffed happily as he passed the house of the pigs.
Anansi,
Called his friend Huggy the hog.
my pot is full of sweet potatoes and honey. Come share my food.
Anansi said.
I have to spin a web. I will tie one end around my leg and one end to your pot. When the beans are done, tug on the web and I will come running.
By the time Anansi arrived at the river, he had one web tied to each of his 8 legs.
This was a wonderful idea.
Anansi told himself proudly.
I wonder whose pot will be ready first.
Just then, Anansi felt a tug at his leg.
Huh,
Said Anansi.
that is the web string tied to Robbie's greens.
He felt another and another. Anansi was pulled in 3 directions at once.
Oh dear,
Said Anansi as he felt the 4th string pulling his leg. Just then he felt the 5th web string tug, then the 6th, the 7th and the 8th. Anansi's legs were pulled hard by his friends who caught hold of the web strings tied to their pots, and his legs were stretched due to the force. Anansi rolled and tugged himself into the river. When all the webs were washed away, Anansi rolled painfully onto the shore.
oh my.
Sighed Anansi.
Perhaps it was not such a good idea after all.
To this day, Anansi and all the spiders of his family have very thin legs.